Hey gamers, it's Milan here from Milan Refresh Gaming and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're breaking down the ending of Mafia the Old Country, so let's get right into today's video. The ending of Mafia the Old Country really leaves a lot to think about. It's one of those finales that just stays with you long after the credits roll, because of how personal it feels. This isn't just another mob story where someone gets taken out and the entire family just moves on, but in this game, every choice, every betrayal, and every tie to the family finally comes crashing down in Chapter 14. Enzo's story is tragic because, unlike some of the others, he actually knew what he wanted out of his life. He wasn't just chasing status or money, he just wanted something better. He even admits this to Cesare in the beginning of Chapter 14 when he says, "I admit that ever since joining this family, I've only ever been murdering people and stealing, and that's not the life that I want to live." And he kind of wanted to break away from that cycle and to be better than his father, and to have a real future with Isabella and to build a family of his own with his son. But after Luca's death, that kind of became evident since he didn't want to keep dying for the man in charge and sacrificing everything for someone else's power. Which Isabella also told him that, like, you don't want to die for her father because nothing ever good comes out of it. And pretty much that was displayed in front of Enzo's eyes, that he didn't want to live that life anymore. But that's why his death hits so hard, because he wasn't blind to what he wanted, he just never got the chance to live it. One of the most powerful parts of the story is Enzo's and Isabella's relationship. From the start, you could feel the tension, like their secret wasn't going to stay hidden forever, but Enzo wanted to be with her. He also wanted to have a life that wasn't all about blood and loyalty to the Don, because Don Torrisi's motivation was loyalty and family. That always comes first, nothing else. But we also knew that that dream wasn't going to last for Enzo and Isabella. So by the time they arrived at the train station, I mean, as a gamer, we all knew that that wasn't going to last. Like, we knew that we felt like this aroma, like we felt like the tension, you can cut it with a knife, that the Torrisi family was going to be at the train station and that all hell was going to break loose before they could even cut the chains. It was already done. So it was only a matter of time before everything fell apart for the Torrisi family, and that's when things really took a toll for the worse. So let's go ahead and take a look at Don Torrisi's reaction to Enzo's and Isabella's relationship coming out.
Cut him loose. Untie his fucking hands!
Don Torrisi. I love it.
I welcome you into my family! And you betray me from the start! Are you a man? Put up your hands! Do you think I would allow it? Huh? A Carusa! Let's ruin her! Isabella will marry who I tell her to marry. The new Baron Fontanella, and she will live happily ever after. Because I have a doctor that will wipe every trace of you from this earth. Understand?
But Isabella is...
You shut up!
I beg you, Don Torrisi, please!
He was a member of a brotherhood, now he's nothing. If rules aren't upheld, what use are they? You show me you have what it takes. You want to be someone? You take your knife and end him. Cut his fucking throat.
I will say this though, despite the fact that Enzo's and Isabella's relationship did come out to the public and the family, Cesare didn't really have a real reason to kill Enzo. And here's why I say this, because During the whole interactions between Enzo and Cesare through 1904 to 1907, it felt like more so they were brothers than they were friends. Real talk. So when we saw that Cesare was going in for that hug with Enzo and then stabbing him, I pretty much just said to myself, like, whoa, like, how could he? When all Enzo did was support the family, he helped out when he could, and he pretty much rode the family on his back every time the situation popped off. He was always there. So Cesare didn't really have a real reason to killing Enzo, but I think it's all just despite because he wanted to feel accepted from his uncle and he wanted to feel like he was the man in charge and that he just wanted to be in that spotlight. He wanted everybody to look at him for all support, and I think that's where Cesare was coming from, but killing Enzo just remotely didn't make any sense to me. Another moment that stood out to me was the confrontation between Enzo and the Don. Honestly, I could feel this one coming from a mile away because with everything that was going on in the Torrisi family before this point, it was kind of clear that some interaction was bound to happen. It was only a matter of when. But what's interesting is that I don't even think that Don fully knew about Enzo and Isabella at first because he had bigger problems to worry about with the family crumbling around him. But it felt like Tito might have known since he was always around Enzo and he was close enough to notice little key things, which made the whole showdown between Enzo and the Don even more intense because it wasn't just about betrayal anymore. It was about a leader trying to keep control of a family that was already falling apart. And Enzo happened to be caught in the middle of it all. So that's why I think the Don was really pissed off at Enzo, especially since he kind of thought of him as a son, but it was more than that. Last point I want to touch on is Isabella leaving for America. This was everything Enzo wanted from the beginning. He wanted freedom, a fresh new start, and he also wanted a family. But instead of living that dream with him, Isabella pretty much has to make that journey by herself. And it's sad because despite all the sneaking around they were doing and pretty much keeping themselves a secret for that X amount of time, I really did enjoy their relationship throughout the entire game. So when we see that final moment at the station with her reading Enzo's letter, it kind of just breaks you because she knows that she's never going to see him again. And then hearing his words, knowing that he wanted to change for her, to be a better man, and to build a life with her, she knows that that's going to be it, especially since she has his baby now and they have to live on their own now without a father. So to me, that's the perfect tragic closing to the game's ending. And that wraps up my breakdown of Mafia the Old Country's ending. What makes this finale stand out even more is that it isn't just about violence. It's about choices, dreams, and the price of loyalty. Enzo's story shows audiences how even someone who wanted something better couldn't escape the cycle of the family. But I want to hear from you. Did Cesare's betrayal make sense to you, or did it just feel as pointless as it did to me? If you enjoyed this video, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe for more Mafia the Old Country walkthroughs and YouTube shorts, and I'll see you in my next video. Take care.